Appreciate it. Thanks for letting me use the toilet.
That's a good sound. Okay. All right, ready to go, Slater? All right. All right, boys and girls, welcome back to Surviving Hollywood. Yay! I'm Johnny Ray Diaz.
I am Aaron Arnold.
I'm Austin Arnold.
And today we are graced by a special guest with us today. Numerous TV show credits, Shameless, How to Get Away with Murder, Bosch, and also in the new movie in theaters now, Stuber, our boy here, Rene Moran. How's it going, man?
I'm good. What's up, fellas? What's going on, man?
What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me to come crash the party, man. I was really looking forward to it, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, guys.
You're making me nervous just being here. I'm like, I just saw you on the TV and in the screen, and I'm like, oh my God, he's here.
Yeah, no, things are good right now, man. The film is out. We shot that last year in Atlanta. I was out there for about 5 weeks working on that. And fast forward to now to see the results and see all the advertising. It's so exciting to really see the final product and then go through all those experiences.
There's some big names in there. There's Kumail
Nanjiani.
Nanjiani, yeah.
and then
Yes.
there's
I always mess up that name.
Dave
Bautista.
Yes. Two really awesome guys. Kumail Nanjiani is absolutely hilarious, effortlessly. It's really strange. He's got some of the most like hilarious looks. He'll just stop on a dime and you just laugh. And then Dave's a gentle giant.
Quiet?
You know, he's very relaxing. Like once you come around him, to be in his presence, it's very soothing in a way.
interesting.
It really is.
When you saw him, were you like, hey, do Drax?
No. Well, you know,
He's like, get the hell out of my trailer.
When you see him in person, he's even bigger than you think.
Oh, he's big.
Like,
he looks
dude.
like, even in Stuber, he looks like a huge dude.
You know what's funny about Stuber is he is so in shape that they actually added a little bit of a fat suit to him to give him a little bit of I'm a cop. I've been a cop. That's how cut and chiseled Dave is.
Wow.
Yeah, he's awesome. I got to spend a lot of time off camera with him in the tent, you know, in between takes and stuff, in between setups. And just getting to know him, you know, he's from Tampa, and it was just really cool to have casual conversations. I'm a wrestling fan, but I was just a little bit out of the Bautista era. I'm more of like, you know.
I don't really remember his wrestling days.
Exactly, yeah.
But
My brother does. My younger brother, he was totally a Bautista guy back in his prime. But yeah, no, he was great. He had a friend named Titus O'Neil, who's a wrestler right now in the WWE. He came out to set, and he was really nice. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. He's really cool. He'll text me randomly every now and then about stuff, and that's really cool. You know, Dave's super busy with shit. He doesn't need to be doing that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah.
And you actually got to work with him and Kumail in your scenes, or you're working directly with them.
Yes. I remember that that first day I showed up. I was already excited just to be in Atlanta. It was my first time being in that city, and then I showed up on set and I'm like, you know, all right, let's do this, right? And I'm in my costume, I'm feeling good, I'm excited, and then I see the guys, and I'm like, all right, play cool, you play cool, you've been here before, we good, right?
Like, I don't even know you guys.
Yeah, what's up? What's your name again? I'm Rene. What up?
What have you been in? What have I seen you in?
Yeah. You look familiar. No, I you know, Kumail came up to me immediately, shook my hand, and the same with Dave. The first day I showed up, we shot the scene where Dave is actually dragging me out of the car from the back seat.
From the window?
Yes. No. Yeah. Well, when we show up to the veterinarian's office, spoiler alert.
That's right.
Classic scene.
Yes, and it was really weird because every time Dave would pick me up, he'd
felt safe.
Very
gentle.
But his knuckles were just massive, and they were like bigger than my chest. It was really incredible. So he's carrying me and dragging me out of the car. Like I'm just like, geez, you're huge. But what was amazing was after every single take, he would always stop and look at me in the eye and say, hey, are you good? Everything cool? And then he did it so much, it started getting kind of annoying. It's like, yo, Dave, come on, baby. I got this. Come on, man. Chill out. Chill out.
I work out too.
Yeah.
I work out too.
You ain't the only one. But yeah, no, that was fun. And we got to know each other. And yeah, it was amazing.
So what do you talk about, like on the off when you're, you know, in between takes?
All sorts of stuff. You know, Dave kind of commented on a couple projects that were up in the air, which actually one of them, I think he just finished working on. He said he was trying to get on this film called Dune.
From the original.
Yes.
Original Dune.
Yes,
I think it was in
yes.
the 80s, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I saw him post something recently on Instagram. And it looks like he went and filmed that.
So they shot that already.
Yes. That's
right,
what it
cool.
looks like. But don't quote me.
Too late.
And then Kumail was really great too. I'm a big fan of The Big Sick.
Yeah, that was a good
Loved
movie.
it.
I like that movie a
Beautiful
lot.
film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
Ray Romano,
Yeah.
awesome as the
That
dad.
is second best.
Hilarious.
I'm saying,
No, but it was really cool because you fall in love with the characters on that film, and then all I wanted to know was about his wife. Like, how's your wife? You know? 'Cause,
Yeah.
it was just such a great
true
character
story,
in the
yeah.
film. Yes.
and he was like, buddy, that's personal.
No, he was cool. He's like, you want her number? No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that. No. But no, Kumail was really cool. I remember spending time with him. I'm like, I feel like you don't know how famous you are. Like, he was just so humble, you know, and in my mind, I'm like, man, you're such a successful dude, but you're so down to earth and normal. And yeah, it was really cool.
Did you get spoilers for the last season of Silicon Valley?
No,
Dude.
it's funny. It's funny. Actually, we at the premiere, he was in the middle of filming that, and I remember we were. I mean, I was excited. It's my first red carpet, so I'm just like going nuts.
In
right?
LA?
I saw some of the photos, man. It looked a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, it was so
A-list.
cool. Yeah, man, it was so awesome. I was like, man, I better get up in here before they kick me out. Before they, sir, who are you? You know, go around the back.
Were
of the
you
building.
in the movie? Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. I'm walking with the trailer right there. Look, I got the video right here. All right, I guess. No, it was really cool. I remember we were in the movie theater and we were about to go watch the film, and I'm like, what's going on, man? Our Silicon Valley, right? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I got a call time for tomorrow at 4 a.m. And I was like, ooh, it's pretty late right now. And he was like, yeah, I've been so busy. But yeah, his work ethic is very inspiring. He's got a lot going on and stuff. And
Nice, man.
that's definitely something, you want to aim for being in this business.
I'm kind of curious about like some of the scenes. So like watching the movie, it felt like there was a lot of improv still.
So much.
So what was it like working with those two guys and the
So much.
director? How was the process with the collaborative
It was
process?
awesome. It was a dream come true for an actor.
Okay.
I had a ton of liberty, and it's funny because, I'm up and coming. Like, I'm not really a name so I don't want to push. I don't want to rock the boat too much, but
Right.
also want to contribute what I have to give.
Totally.
Smart.
Thanks. But Michael Dowse, the director, he was Canadian guy. He's really super cool. And he's shot a lot of funny stuff.
Goon's a big one.
Take me
good
home
movie.
tonight.
Yeah. What?
Goon?
Oh, yes.
was a movie
Sorry.
shot.
I thought you said Dune. I was like, wait, he did
No.
Dune too?
And Take Me Home Tonight.
Yeah.
Which are two good movies.
Two good movies, yeah.
Yeah, no, but he was awesome. I noticed Kumail got a lot of freedom. Obviously, he's incredible with his improv. It would be a shame not to use that, right? But they definitely let him go and run, and Dave rolled with him. And when it came to our scenes, especially and there's a scene at the veterinarian's office where there's like the whole shootout and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm getting
Where you're-
tortured.
yeah.
Great scene.
Yeah, it was really cool because I noticed that we were going off script and we were improvising, and I'm like, just
keep
do your
going.
best to keep up.
Right.
Just do your thing, right? Let
Right.
it go. Don't just be cool. And
did you were improv?
oh, dude, it was awesome. Just some of the stuff that was coming out of his mouth, and then the responses. It was beautiful just to be in it. You know,
You had to be in pain in that scene, so you were playing
Yeah.
against something.
oh, I got a crazy backstory about that.
Oh, yeah?
That pain that I was able to
let's
produce
hear it.
in the scene.
It was
It's
real.
kinda-
It
it's
was
kind of
real
sad.
pain.
It's actually kind of.
Oh shit. Okay.
I remember we were shooting that day, and my girlfriend was taking care of the dog back home, and my dog was really sick, and I told her, I was like, go get the dog checked out. And so I go on my lunch break. We were just starting to shoot the scene where I'm getting tortured. So I'm in my trailer. I'm having some salmon and some arugula. You know what I'm saying?
Yellow M&Ms only.
Yeah, only,
Only.
son, only. and so I gave her a call, and I'm like, what's going on? Did you go to the vet? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, what's up? And then she's like, are you done filming for today? And I said, no. I was like, I still got this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm going to tell you when you're done. And I'm like, no. You're going to tell me right now. And she's like, no, let me just tell you when your day's over. And I'm like, no, Natalie, you better tell me this right now. And she told me that my dog had like bone marrow cancer or something like that.
Man.
It was real serious, and she was really sick, and it was bad. So
And then you were like, why'd you tell me?
Right? Yeah, a little bit of that. And then, we go back to the set, and I'm just carrying this. And I remember I jumped back on the table, and Dave's starting to torture me in the scene. And there's that scream that comes out. And then Michael was like, I want more in the background. And then I was able to kind of use that news that I had just gotten broke to me and just channeled it into that. And it was kind of my therapy for the moment.
Rough,
you know?
awesome.
Yeah. And it came, I mean, I when I listened to it, when I watched the scene the first time, I remembered exactly where my head was at during that moment. So yeah, weird. I didn't mean to bring it down.
That's even weirder because you were in a vet's office in the scene.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
saying.
Man. That's so weird.
No,
Good eye, Johnny. Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
like, I'm just like,
Well, in both your scenes, you're working with dogs and animals.
Yeah.
That's so.
And how's your dog's health now?
I was about to ask.
She passed away
man, I'm sorry
late
to hear
last
that.
year. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. She was in pain, so she's not in pain anymore.
Yeah.
It happens, man. It's weird. I learned a lot from that relationship. She was my first dog. I had her from weeks old, so I don't know if you guys had pets before.
Yeah.
Losing a pet sucks, man.
It's losing family, basically.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's why I don't like having animals anymore.
Or relationships.
Just sit at home.
Different story. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, dude,
But, yeah.
sick to be able to like improv on set with some guys.
amazing. Yeah.
So like, I get that feeling of like, okay, so they're the leads. You don't want to step on any toes, obviously.
Yes.
So you don't want to like improv so much where they can't jump in.
Correct.
So how did you kind of find that balance? Was it just like, I got to navigate this slowly and kind of take my foot off the pedal?
Yes and no. Like you gotta give some and take some, and then go and react. But I think with improv, I studied a little bit at UCB a long time ago when I first got into the game. And the one thing I kind of took from that experience is that like it's kind of like volleyball. You set someone up so that they can spike it, and you guys gotta rock with each other and go back and forth. So just keep pitching it up so that someone can spike it. So in that scenario, Kumail's the star of the film. For me, my job is to
make him look
set
good.
it up. Set it up and let him spike it. Yeah.
Right.
And I can see how it could be very easy to be like, oh man, this is my one chance. Let me shine. Let me do my thing. Let me get out here right now. Right. Let me go sprinting right now. But I feel like if you're a professional, you know what role you're playing. And yeah, I mean, if after some time you build like some respect between you and the director, and then if they want to let you run, they'll let you run. And I did have my opportunities where Michael was very specific about like, just go. We would talk between takes, and the more comfortable, the more we worked together, the more he trusted me. And I think that's where I really was able to start then kind of sprinting myself. But again, everything was just measured. My day one, all right, let's let them know we're here to work.
You had a really funny line, which I just watched the movie this morning, so I can't remember it. I think it was right after the Ryan Gosling thing. You had a really funny line after that, but I can't remember what it was.
What's wrong with Ryan Gosling, bro?
That was a good part too, but I'm just saying it was
let me tell you.
after that memorable part.
I felt terrible for having a lie because I love Ryan Gosling, man. I love that. No, he's awesome, dude. Remember Drive?
Oh, that's one of my favorite movies.
Bro.
That director is like one of my all-time favorite directors.
Johnny was.
I'm like
was
dying to work on that show.
amazing.
Too Old to Die Young.
That was your Halloween costume.
He's
right?
doing
That
that.
was my Halloween costume. Was the Drive dude. With
So
the
you had
hammer.
the badass jacket.
I had the jacket
And
with
the
a hammer,
scorpion?
and I had a blonde wig on. Bro, I had everything, dude.
He was
I'm such a loser,
He was
man.
walking around West Hollywood
That's
for
badass.
Halloween with the hammer and the suit and everything.
And just
Oh,
chasing
dude.
people for no reason.
And you didn't get pulled over, dude?
I was just chasing homeless people.
Taking care of business.
That's all, man.
Yeah, no. There were so many things we said. I remember looking back, I was like, I wonder what they're gonna keep, and I wonder what they're gonna toss.
And then did Michael, the director, did he come in every once in a while and say, I like that, do that again, or I don't like that?
Yes,
Or no?
but he wasn't really on. He kind of. I mean, it was really awesome experience. He kind of just let us run.
Really?
I feel like he had a good understanding of what. At least I can speak for myself of what I was gonna bring to the table through the audition process. Because in the audition room, I actually had to kind of reenact that whole shooting scene where I get shot in the leg and I'm like trying to crawl out.
Inside
like,
the car?
Yeah.
That's
like,
kind of hard.
Exactly.
To
Think
reenact.
about that. Yeah. You're reading the side.
Was this in person or a self-tape?
No, it was in person.
Okay.
In LA?
Yes, out in Santa Monica. And I remember it was like, how do I prepare for this? Like, there's like I'm supposed to be kicking a chair in front of me, and then I get shot in the leg, and I'm sliding out a window.
And it's
I'm
a
like,
comedy.
yeah. And then also we're in the audition room, which is completely different than actually shooting it. Obviously, you know, you have props, you're in the car, it's very easy to just do it. Yeah. But now I'm in the room and I gotta like
a reader
figure it out. Yeah.
What casting office was that? Was that Betty May?
No, not Betty May.
Betty Ford.
No.
Clinic.
I'm blanking on the office.
This is Santa Monica's out.
Yeah.
She's in Marina Del Rey.
Ocean Park. Ocean Park
casting?
No.
That's like a commercial.
Place. Yeah.
Is it a commercial for a Stuber here?
They disguised it under the commercial label.
It's a Geico commercial. That'd be good.
Yeah. No, but it was awesome. It was really cool, and again, it was just all about trust.
So
you know,
what was it in the audition room? Walk us through that. So you got in, you do your read, and what happens?
You know, I did my read, and I remember preparing like I wanted to show that the kick from that you actually see in the movie, and I didn't want to play it too big. But I also wanted to show that I can go through the beats, and you know, when I left the first audition, I gotta say I didn't feel good or bad about it. It was just a moment, you know, and I didn't really expect much. I wasn't sure. I wasn't even thinking about a callback. But then I did get a callback, and I was like, all right, well, let's just do the same thing that we brought into the room. And except this time, you know how callbacks are, like there's more people in the room, and now it becomes more of a like, all right, I gotta show a little leg here.
Was Michael in the room?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
There's a bowl of fruit. There's a coffee on the side.
You know what's funny? You know what I remember about Michael is as soon as I walked in the room, he stood up. I forget who else was in the room, but I remember him specifically. He stood up and he came over and shook my hand. And I remember being so caught off guard. Yeah, listen to you. Yeah. Whoa. I remember being caught so off guard that I was like, the first thing that came out of my mouth was like, "Oh, we're shaking hands."
Well, usually you expect you shouldn't touch them.
Yeah,
that's what you should have said. I mean, like, "Whoa, dude, I don't do that. You know the rules."
Reverse it on him, bro. What are you doing? You're breaking the rules. You're gonna ruin my read.
I'm a professional here. I'm gonna walk out right now.
I'm ready for you to be an ass.
But why did he just admired your work?
No, I don't know. I can't call that, but I just think it was like a respect thing. You know, I think he probably has a mutual respect for actors and what we do and what we bring to the table. But it definitely,
that's cool.
Yeah, right.
That's cool.
So he shakes my hand. That was the first impression I got as soon as I walked in the room. I'm like, okay, cool. And I felt very safe, and I was feeling confident. I was in a good mood that day, and we just went to work, and I did the scene. And I remember just saying, like, just let it go. You know, there's a lot of physical action, and I just wanted to go for it. So I didn't hold back on that one. And if anything, I kind of stepped on the gas a little bit more, but I just also wanted to make it as believable as possible at the same time.
Did he give you any feedback, any changes?
You know, I remember Michael did give me a note, and I think that's what it was. It's like, just make it a little bit bigger. When you get shot in the leg, I want to feel that pain come through. And I was like, oh, you want me to take the gloves off? All right, let's go. Yeah. And that's what we did. That's what we ended up doing. And I left that room, and I felt good. I know I had a good experience, and everyone was cool. It felt good. And then I didn't hear about it for a couple weeks, and so by that point I had forgotten about it. I thought it'd come and gone.
Right.
And then I got the call, and the experience of it was my first job out of town. So getting like flown out first class, like I've never ridden first class before. I didn't even know how to pull my tray out to eat my food. I swear. And I was this guy, he looks like he plays golf, and he was sitting next to me, and I remember just kind of giving him the look like, oh.
He's like, first time in first class?
No, dude, he didn't even bother talking to me. He could tell. He was like, this ain't first class guy over here.
He's like, are you sure you're supposed to be up here?
Pretty much. I'm like, can you double check on this guy?
The coach is back here.
Are you here to serve my food?
You're holding that seat, right? You'll be moving when we take off.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Are you coming on collecting trash? I don't know.
Oh, man.
No, man, that sounds like a really cool experience, man. Yeah.
It was cool. And it was nice. You know, another thing, it was nice to just get away and be alone with your character for a good amount of time.
5 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
How many days did you actually shoot?
You know what? I want to say it was a total of 10 days, but because of the schedule, they were all kind of spread out, you know.
So they just had you there the whole time?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
So I was on hold for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's funny. I had one final day in Los Angeles, and I had been on hold the entire time. And I remember I showed up on set, like, Jesus, you're still on hold? What are you doing here? We finised with you a month ago. And
The movie's already wrapped. Yeah. You've already edited.
It's like, what are you doing? You've been on hold forever. You're already on hold for Stuber 2, I think. Yeah, that was the joke. It was hilarious.
So what did you do on your downtime? What was that?
You know what? I did a lot of exploring, man.
You
I
hit up
fell
Atlanta?
in love with Atlanta.
I was just there like yesterday.
Johnny
Two
just
weeks.
filmed,
I just
can we
came
say-
back from shooting a show.
Can we say the show?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess. I was working on Dynasty.
Ah, you said it.
Whatever. But
Awesome.
anyway,
Congrats.
Thank you, man. But yeah, this is my second. No, I've been to Atlanta like 3 or 4 times. But
How do you feel about that town? Do you like it down there?
I'm cool with it now. Like this time, I kind of actually had more downtime to go check stuff out.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool city. Like,
It's chill.
You know, it's different for me because it's the South.
Yes.
So like when I first went there, I'm like, all right,
Southeast.
You know you're in the South when you're down there.
yeah. I was like, it looks different. The people are different. Everything is different.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I liked it. It was a nice change of pace. I grew up in Florida though, so I'm a
Okay,
little
so you-
biased.
okay,
Yeah,
so you kinda know
I
a
grew up
little
in
bit.
Orlando, Florida, and it was just kind of a little bit more of that pace. And
Orlando, that's like Universal City and
yeah, Universal Studios,
Studio.
Disney, and all that stuff.
Epcot Center.
Yeah, all that.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, the golden era, the golden age. Yeah, when those studios were down there. Yeah, it was cool growing up around all that stuff. But it's also interesting because it's like, you know, it's a tourist town, and so like everybody works in that business, in that industry and stuff. But yeah, if I had been into if I'd known I'd become an actor, maybe I would have done some stuff over there during those times.
That'd be kind of fun.
You could have been in the Mickey suit.
You know, I have a friend, he actually played Beetlejuice for a long, long time, and he told me the salary he was making doing that, and I was like, damn.
Really?
It
Michael
was
Keaton, actually.
good.
Look that up.
Let me tell you, I don't mean to put his
He was
business
actually making a lot of money.
100 plus.
Really?
A year. I'm sorry, a month.
He was working every
A
day,
month.
Monday through Friday, or what?
He must have had a challenging schedule, but he
Right.
was making over $100,000 a year.
I mean, that's not.
That
that's not a
requires
bad
way
gig.
more skill than putting on a Mickey suit to play Beetlejuice, you know?
yeah, no, he was a sick ass Beetlejuice too.
But you probably get tired of it after a while, though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But think about that: $100,000, and you're living off of the wages in Orlando, Florida. You're living like a king.
That's true.
And is it true that guy turned out to be Michael Keaton?
Ding! You got it.
Nice, dude.
Nice, bro.
That's how we.
Dude, did you see? Boom, spike it, and you
There-
spiked it down. I
Hey.
like it. I
Yeah.
like it. We're improving right now, fellas.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that guy.
No, that resonated what you said though about, you know, especially when you're working with bigger names and you know you got to kind of like set them up sometimes, and just
Yeah.
working on improv in general. I find, because I like to improv in the context of film, and sometimes, you know, you go and set your co-stars up, and if they miss it, that's fine, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, we could have had something special. You could tell they're not really looking for it, or they're not skilled enough. But I bet working with Kumail,
Exactly.
Kumail,
Yeah. he's a master at that. He's definitely done a lot of work with his craft, and it shows in his work. Speaking of improv, like some of the scenes that take when he's being held hostage for a second in the vet's office, man, they were just letting him go. And they would just on one take.
Just letting him riff?
You and him were back and forth, like each getting held hostage.
Yes, exactly that scene. It was really awesome. I was being held by Bautista.
Yeah, he's crushing you.
tenderly. And I'm watching Kumail work right in front of me, and the cameras are on him, and they're just going. It's all on one take, and he's just pausing, and then the next line. Pause, the next line, and then some of the writers would step in and actually feed him some lines.
That's what I was
too.
going to ask you if they would throw lines. Oh, say this, and
Yep.
then you just
Yes.
drop it in.
Judd
Yes.
Apatow style.
Yeah.
And he would catch the lines, take them in, and then spit them out, and it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
really awesome, and he just, all right, next.
What about you? Were you did you get a series of lines?
You know, for me, I didn't get any like tweaks on my lines. More than anything, I was reacting to Kumail and whatever lines they were throwing at him.
I see.
Yeah, and it was fun.
Equally as important to have the straight man, you know?
Yeah. It really was. But
What was the script like? Was the script even close to what ended up in the movie?
you know what's yes, very close. But it's funny to read the script and envision it, and then see the final product.
changes everything.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
And it goes through so many hands, you know, the editor,
Right.
this person, and the coloring person, and all that. And then you finally see the final product. It was way funnier than I thought. I thought it was funny already on paper, but then when I saw it in person, I was like, damn, that's good.
That's good.
That's really good.
And by week 3, when you're there, like on the weekends, do you hang out with any of the cast?
You know what? I got invited to some things, but I was a little shy. You know what I mean? So and I just kind of laid low.
Like you get invited to a restaurant or?
Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
He picked his spots though. He don't want to go.
You know where I did spend a lot of time? I would contact the production and just see if I was allowed to come on set just to kind of watch.
Oh, that's cool.
observe.
Yeah,
so,
just hang out. Yeah.
Another smart thing, dude. You're a
Yeah.
smart actor.
I like this.
Dude,
guy.
Aaron likes you already, man.
No, I can tell, man. You're
This is his
smart.
normalcy, but he wanted to stay here today. Man.
So funny. Yeah, no, that was really cool. I was actually there. One of my days off that I was there was where you see the car kind of flip off the edge of the street and it does a couple turns on the lease.
Yeah. Actually, that was funny when it blew up, and he's like, "How is it blow up? It's an electric car." I thought that was funny.
I love when he kept saying it's a lease.
Yeah, he kept saying.
That was so funny.
That was good.
But yeah, you know, I think it's important like for us to never like stop being curious and continue to try to like learn. Right now, my next venture, like I write, but I haven't written anything yet in like script form. I have tons of ideas, but that's the next endeavor. That's something else that I want to explore, and maybe even like look into the like the YouTube world. I feel like you know, my story is unique in a way where I'm an immigrant. I was born in El Salvador, and my parents are workers. They're, you know, the three of us are immigrants. And growing up, I really didn't think much would be destined of me. I legitimately, I can look you guys in the eye, believe that I think my climax in life would be becoming the manager at Wendy's. Like, I really believe that. And I wasn't even ashamed of it. It was just, hey, that's life. And I was ready for that. And it wasn't until I moved to LA in 2005 where I started realizing, like, you know, I could be anybody I want to be out here. And little by little, like, is when I got introduced to the acting world through a front desk job that I was working. And that's kind of like where it all kind of got started. But in the long run, like acting, I want to just create a voice with it. I think a lot of people share my story where they may be immigrants and they feel like maybe because their parents are poor and their family's poor, maybe they're just destined for the same. I want to change that. That's really what this acting stuff is for, is to create a voice so that I can share that story. And then that kid that thought just like me at that age can think a little bit different and be like, this guy really didn't have many chances to do something and he did it anyways. Maybe I can figure it out too. That's really the ultimate goal with all this stuff that I'm doing right now.
That's cool.
Right?
Yeah. No, that is kind of like
Johnny's in it for the money, so man, that's really nice.
I'm just in it for the podcast.
The checks are good too. The checks are great. Trust me, we need the checks.
Please, I need to pay my rent this month. Anyway, no, man. What you're saying is it's cool because like, so my parents are immigrants too, and like I think about stuff like that because like my dad basically just worked at the same place for like 25 years.
Yep.
A job he didn't like, but he had to pay the bills.
Yep, I get it.
And so it was, for them, it was really important that like I'd go to school and do something.
Yeah.
With my, whatever it was, just did something. And like, I remember too, when I was telling him like, yeah, I think about leaving and becoming an actor and this whole thing. And it was kind of like, it's just like an unheard of thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did that land?
Well, it was kind of like,
was it supportive?
This was after college. So they're like, you just got a college degree. Okay. Why don't you just do that? You paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of loans you owe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Play it safe.
Yeah. And I was just like, I don't want to. Like, it just doesn't interest me. I mean, I could do it.
Yes.
But I wouldn't be happy.
And that's key, man.
And so I was like, I'm just going to leave. But like, I know for my parents too, you know, coming from where they came from, like not knowing a lick of English and just coming here and doing something, it was like, that's not something that we normally do. Cause like in my family, there's not really a lot of artists, you know? So it's like, what? That seems weird. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I get what you're talking about.
I got lucky and I didn't have to have that conversation.
Okay.
I wouldn't imagine what they would have said. If, hey, Dad, hey, what's up, Pop? I'm gonna be an actor. What?
What
Get
the
your-
fuck?
You know what? You need to act and learn how to throw that trash out. That's your role. All right, Dad. I ain't no actor. I'm the trash man.
All right, you're right. All right.
But yeah, no, I can imagine. You know, I have so much respect for people that move here to do it. I came out here for other reasons, and then so I was able to, like, you know, I lived with my aunt when I first got here. She said, just don't bring the cops to my house. We're good. And I said, cool. I kept the deal. You know, I moved out here because I had like a little bit of a drug issue thing when I was in high school, and I got kicked out a few times, and I got kicked out of my house a few times.
Was this in
No,
Florida?
this is all in Florida.
In Florida,
yeah.
okay.
When I came to LA, I said I'm done.
It was
with
like
all
the
that.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You got sent to California.
I just didn't get a fight at the basketball court. It was a little different.
It's what you weren't sent to Bel Air.
That
That
too.
was the problem.
Man, nice. Is right.
Close enough. I mean, you know.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I moved out here because I had to get away, man. I tried to get right when I was living over there, but you know, I knew everyone. That was my town. That was my neighborhood. Those were my brothers and my sisters out there. Like, it was my neighborhood, mi barrio. And so even if I wanted to get clean, like, someone would come knocking on the door, and they'd be like, "Come on, Rene, come out." And I'll be like, "All right, I ain't gonna do nothing." And then, like, I go out and, "Come on, man, just try a little." And I'll be like, "All right, just a little bit." And then next thing you know, I'm right back on the ride. And ultimately, the last time my parents kicked me out, me and my dad got into like a fist fight, and he whooped my ass like a man. And the cops came, and they basically told me I had to pack up. I think I was 19 at the time, and they were like, "You got to get out of here, and don't come back without your dad's permission."
Where'd you go?
I went and I slept on. I was working at Ross for the winter, for
Dress for
Christmas.
less.
Yeah. And look, I was trying.
I'm more of a TJ Maxx kind of guy.
I can see that.
You know what
I
I'm
can
saying?
see that.
Hey, man, you know.
No, I crashed on my manager's couch, and then it got weird living there. So I was like, man, I gotta bail. I gotta get the hell out of here. And my mom gave me this epic speech that I'll never forget. It was like this long conversation we had on the phone, but at the end, she was like, "What are you still doing here? Why don't you get out of here?" And I was like, "Where am I gonna go?" And she's like, "Why don't you go to LA, live with my sister, your aunt?" And I said, "Hell no, mama. I'm from the dirty South. I ain't going nowhere." I literally said that. And my mom said it in Spanish. She was like, "You sound like an idiot." And I said, "Mom, I really don't want to go anywhere. My friends and my family are here. I don't want to leave you guys." And they're like, "You don't got to go forever. Just go for 6 months." And that's where she got me. That was the sell. 6 months goes by like that, right? Fast. So I'm like, all right, 6 months, Mom. I could do that. 2 weeks later, I was here. And then the 6 months came, a year and a half. I was going to go home. And then that's when I got offered that front desk job I mentioned earlier. And then I decided to give that a shot. That office actually was handling the Tupac estate. So the guy I worked for handled the Tupac estate. And I love Tupac. I'm like, man, this is, oh yeah.
Obviously.
Okay, I mean, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it was
T-shirt.
weird. It was like such an omen. Have you guys read The Alchemist?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Okay,
Great
so
book.
I believe in that stuff, man. I really believe in omens, and like I think there's little like things that are like sprinkled along your way that'll.
And what that book's about is it's pretty easy read, but it's really about the message where it's like you have a purpose in life, and you can either
Your personal legend.
recognize the signs and do what you want to do, or you can live your life and you can, basically not do what you're destined to do, and your life won't be as fulfilled, right?
Yeah, actually, you said it really well. That was really well said. Yeah, it's just you follow. There's a moment in the book where he meets a young lady and he falls in love with her, but he starts realizing that like if he stays and he doesn't, because his personal legend is just calling him to come out, right? And if he starts realizing, he's like, I think the alchemist came and told him, and it was like, if you stay here, you'll get married, you'll have kids, you'll live a great life, you'll have 80 horses, 40 calves, and all this, right? But after some time, you're gonna start to resent her and hate her and feel like she's the one that prevented you from ever reaching your personal legend.
What's wrong with that? Many people do it.
Right? That's what I'm saying. And I was like, no. So, but yeah, that's kind of, that's what that office was. When I saw the Tupac stuff, I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, all right, I'll stick around for a little bit. And then working there for a couple months is when I met an agent. And I remember I was working the front desk, and we gotten to know each other. She would come in once a week to pick up her mail. And she says to me one day, just out of nowhere, she's like, "Hey, Rene, you should give me your picture." And I looked at her and I said, "What do you want my picture for?" And she's like, "Do you know what I do?" And I said, "No, but I know you get a lot of pictures in your mailbox." And she says, "I'm an agent." And I said, "What's that?" And then she says, "I get work for actors in commercials." And I was like, "Wait, you want me to be an actor? You crazy." Hell no. But thank you. That's very flattering. And again, going back to what I said earlier, like that didn't fit into the manager at Wendy's mold that I had kind of built in my head. Right. So I was like, "No, you're crazy. That's impossible. Hell no." And it took me a few months, but then I don't know what I said to myself, man. It just kicked in. I was like, you know what? It ain't just rich people that can be cool. Like, you know, I could do stuff too. And then I said, I'm gonna go get some pictures taken. And I got some cheap old pictures taken, but they did the job. And she started submitting me, and I ended up booking a Ford national commercial. And I had I had no idea what I was getting into either. I remember my first auditions. I remember someone was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need you to slate." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what is that?"
Yeah, I remember that the first time I was like,
"Excuse me?"
I said,
"Excuse me?"
I said, "No, I'm good. I'm good." What?
You're like, "I ate."
Yeah,
I'm clean.
Yeah, no. So you know, you learn it how you can, and yeah, I remember that that commercial was awesome. We shot it off of Lancashire in North Hollywood. And I was just like, I didn't really say much. I was like someone's date. I walk her out of a movie theater, and she hops in a Ford and leaves with her friends. And I'm just like standing on the curb, like, what happened?
Sounds like the best commercial,
right?
Man. It sounds like a lot of money in your pocket. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah, no, it was all right. But it's funny you say the money, because at the end of the day, I called my agent, Danny Wolf, and I gave her a call, and I was like, "Danny, man," I was like, "Man, that was fun." And she's like, "Oh, you had a good time?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I would have done that for free." And she's like, "Oh no." She's like, I was like, "No, honestly, Danny, I would have done that for like $150. Like, they took care of me. They gave me food. I had a room. Can you believe I had a room?" And she was like, "Wait till the checks come in." And I said, "Danny, stop. It's not about the money. All right, chill. I would have done that for $100. And so she's like, "You watch." And then a few weeks later or whatever, a batch of checks comes in, and she sends them my way. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I call her. I was like, "Hey, I think we could do this."
Give me another one of those commercials.
And then the first thing she said to me was like, "Well, if you want to do this, you got to start learning. You got to go training." And I was like, "What do I got to do?" And she's like, "You need to study. You should study improv now, and put that on your resume, and then the phone will hopefully ring more. It should." And I was like, "All right, tell me where to go." And then she gave me a couple of schools, and I settled down on UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yeah.
And I went over there and I did some studying, and I realized, man, this improv stuff is fun. Like, it took all my shyness away.
Improv class is fun, man.
So much fun. Yeah. So liberal. Even if you're not an actor, just like as something cool to do, you know?
You
meet some cool people.
Short form improv or long form improv?
Ooh, short form. It was I like, dude, the way you said it, I was like, awesome. No, I studied with a guy named Johnny Meeks over there, and I did the 101 class, and I stuck around for a little bit, but I don't tend to stay at one class for too long. I like to get a decent grasp of what's going on, and then take a break, maybe like explore it on my own, and then move on to something else that will stimulate me. I really, really like that. I feel like if I'm staying somewhere too long, I'm leaning too much towards one thing instead of being balanced.
Are you still with that original agent?
Yeah, Danny. She's my acting mom. That's what I call her.
Nice.
Yeah, I talk to her on the regular. Whenever I'm going through stuff, if I'm having a rough day on set or like just shit's going on, like I tend to lean on her, and she's always been very honest and open with me. And yeah, she's been there since day one. She really got it going. Them and then these guys, Dean Frank and Donald Pemrick,
the casting director.
Yeah,
you guys know these guys?
Well, I've been in front of them.
What?
Frank, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so those are my boys.
Nice.
That office, the front desk job I keep telling you about.
Oh, that's where you worked at.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they would have their casting sessions, and I would be at the front desk, and I would just help them run the sessions. And this is how I got to meet a lot of actors and see what's going on. Because remember, I'm from Orlando, Florida. We don't have Hollywood. We don't have, acting is not a business out there. Entertainment it's all tourism. So being there, I'm like, okay, today all hot chicks, and it's just like beautiful women in the lobby. The next day, axe murderers, and it's like all these creepy dudes, and it's just like, I'm like, this is wild and kind of fun and cool. And then I started meeting their producers and their directors that would come in to cast at their callbacks. And there was a guy by the name of Nick Viola who actually just won an Oscar for The Green Book.
I was going to say that's the guy that's the story's based on, his dad, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Nick Viola is...
he seems like a cool dude.
He's amazing.
East Coast guy.
Yeah.
Who is he in The Green Book? Hidalgo?
No, he's based... his
he
dad.
played a small role in The Green Book, too.
Yeah.
When they go... Do you remember the film?
Yeah.
When they go to the restaurant and there are these, like, mafia guys in the back and they're sitting and they're eating at the table right before they do a deal. He's one of those guys. But Nick was really cool. I used to sit at the front desk. This is before I was an actor. And I would just chat him up, and I would see he would always come in. He was always hustling, and I never knew what he was doing, but he looked important. He's tall and he's quiet, but he would talk to me. And I was very, very, like, I was new to the office. I was very street. Like, I was just fresh out of Florida, so I still had my Timberland boots on, and I would go in there. Yeah, like, I was still real street. And we would get to know each other. And then one day he approached me and he said, "Hey," he's like, "why don't you come in and read for my film?" And I'm like, man, I don't know about that. He's like, "Can you speak Spanish?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can you sound like you're angry?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "That's easy, man. Me and my mama go back and forth all the time. I'll just channel her." And he was like, "All right, I want you to come in and read for me." And I said, "Okay." So then I go into Dean and Don's office. Dean and Don are there. They're looking at me like proud parents and stuff. Like, all right, let's see what happens. And then Nick's there. He's got this like stone cold look on his face. And then I just started like, I don't know what I said. I started like pointing a gun and yelling bad words in Spanish. And then I ended up getting cast. And
In what?
it was a movie called Stiletto. Okay, so so I show up on set, and I had been given specific instructions, right? So I show up and I see the first person with like headphones on, and I'm like, "Excuse me, hi, my name is Rene Moran. I'm here looking for. I was told to ask for Mr. Taft-Hartley." the lady looked at me with a strange look, and I just kept staring at her, and she's like, "Hold on one moment." So she leaves.
Because that's a contract for the folks at home.
Yeah.
Like what do you
SAG contract for you getting your SAG.
Into the union.
You get
Yeah.
to the union, yeah.
So she leaves, and I'm like starting to get nervous. I'm like, oh man, I had one job, find Mr. Taft-Hartley, and I'm fucking it up. She comes back and she's like, "I got good news and bad news." And I'm like, "What's up?" And I was like, "What's the bad news?" And she's like, "There is no Mr. Taft-Hartley." And that's it.
He's dead.
Oh, dude, like I was just like, "Oh my God, I can't be here. I shouldn't be here." And then she's like, "But the good news is, Taft-Hartley means you are in SAG now. You are in the union." And I was like, "What's that?" And she was like, "Just fill these papers out." And it wasn't until I sat down, I started filling them out, and I was sitting with like under this tent with like some stunt guys. Not Mario Lopez. Mario. Oh fuck, I'm blanking on his last name.
Andretti.
Mario Perez, really well-known stunt guy. And he was sitting next to me, and I was telling him, I'm like, "Yeah, man, they give me something called a Taft-Hartley." And he's like, "They still give those out?" And then that's when I knew what it was. But I still didn't know what the union was. So I was like, "This is good." Apparently, the stunt guys are telling me. And then later I knew what the value of it is. It's definitely something that people work very hard to get, and I felt very fortunate.
For years sometimes.
Yes,
For some people never get it.
You're right.
Union status.
Exactly. And so I realized what a huge gift that was coming from Dean and Don and Nick. And to this day, Nick, like we keep in semi-touch. I see him randomly because that guy's always hustling. Always. When he got the Green Book and I saw him win the Oscar, I literally had tears of joy in my face. I couldn't believe he was on the stage, but I did believe it because he always worked hard, and he used to do a lot of business with Dean back in those days. Yeah, it's been cool. And then working for that casting office also, I don't know if you guys have ever had the chance, but to sit on like a casting session.
I've sat on one before for like a project I worked on.
What'd you think? What did you think of that experience?
I mean, it's really valuable, but I remember, so there was a movie I got casted in that never got made. And I remember the producers and the director were like, "Hey man, why don't you come in and be the reader, and you can help us out with the session. Like it'd be cool because we're still trying to find these roles."
Yeah.
And they had a casting director too, and they had me reading, and the role was for like this like badass woman, like just and they brought all these women in, a lot of them from like big agencies, like WME, this and that.
Big names,
big stuff coming in. Average, man.
Really?
Serviceable.
So, but
You
you
know
were
what I
able
mean?
to, but you were able to see that.
Yeah, like I was seeing it, and then you could also see a lot of people nervous, really nervous, and I'm
yeah.
like, man, you've done like
It's huge.
10 episodes of this, and you were like a series on this, and it's like
It doesn't go away. The insecurity
but
never
then
goes
there's
away.
also some that came in and just killed it.
Yeah.
Like there was some like one couple of I was like, I mean, pro.
Yeah.
That could be like on set. You just
Right
shot
now.
right there.
You should be series reg right now.
It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
I love that was what I enjoyed watching was the choices being so different.
Yeah.
From everyone.
Everybody was different.
Everyone.
Everybody was different.
And you know, I think that gave me a little boost of confidence to understand like no one can ever replicate you. So if you're busy trying to replicate something for someone, then you're losing the priceless value of yourself and just giving an honest read, which will be unique in itself because it's you. Only you can do it that way. But yeah, I got that from those experiences. And I tell you what, like at the time I didn't realize how cool it was. Sometimes I'd be bored. I'd be like, man,
I just want to go home.
but yeah, no,
Yeah,
but then after, like looking back now, I'm like, man, it was Dean usually that would pull me in. Do you want to sit on this casting session? Be like, hell yeah. And yeah, so I owe a lot to those guys, Dean and Don and Nick.
Do you have carte blanche to go back? Like, do you audition with them all the time now?
You know what? They haven't brought me in a while, man. I don't know if they're listening. I'd love to see y'all again.
They are listening.
No, yeah, no. You know what? Dean and Don are family at this point. Like I've watched Dean's kids grow up over the years, and he's always cheering me on. Whenever he sees any of my stuff on TV, I'll get a text from him. And it's really cool. I'm really blessed to be able to have those relationships. You know,
You're in an A-list movie now, dude. They're gonna see you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it's exciting. And then also like, you know, being out here for this amount of time, like I'm looking now and I can see that like I have a lot of friends and I've met a lot of people and it's really cool to watch everybody kind of like coming up together and stuff and doing more and more things. And it's like our class is graduating every year. There's, you know, we're blowing up a little bit more and it's like, oh, we were all the ones that were struggling. Now we're all doing it. You know, It's really awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, as long as you can see year to year, it's like, wow, okay, I wasn't doing this 3 years ago or whatever it is.
Yeah, the progress.
Speaking of that, dude, you and I were in a show together.
That's right.
What? Shut up.
You remember?
Stop. What?
I was looking on your IMDb.
What did you do?
You were in like 4 episodes. I was in 2. We were both in Bosch last season.
Dude, go on, read it. Two of my Bosch brothers.
So I wanted to ask you about your experiences on that because we were in the
Bosch?
we were in the same episodes, different scenes, pill shills and tunnel vision.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna go back and watch that.
Okay,
now.
cool. But what was your experience, man?
On Bosch,
Yeah.
Bosch was really cool. I don't know why, but Bosch felt very laid back. I had a lot of confidence going into it. I was feeling really good in my personal life, and so I was able to just come completely open and free. I remember going to that audition, and I was over there at, what is it, Big Red Studios or something? Red 5 Studios? Something. It's off of Cahuenga, I think.
I forget.
Yeah,
but I was there.
But I remember going to the read, and I just had like a pep in my step, and I did the audition, and there was this older gentleman. I think he was one of the executive producers, but he was sitting in the back, and he was just kind of hanging out, all relaxed. And then I remember just coming in there and just like, I'm about to show you this, man. And I did, and I felt great, and I was like, man, that felt really good. And then once we got booked, going through the experience, I don't know, I felt very confident. I had just come off a couple things, and I was just feeling really good, so I was really excited. The first day we shot at this apartment in Hollywood, and in my scene, my cousin's like on the run, and he comes, knocks on my door. I open the door, and I let him in.
That's the one I watched.
Yeah, okay.
Just before you got here.
Yes, cool.
That was great.
Thanks, man.
It was. I was into it.
It was really cool because the director, it was a foreign guy. I'm blanking on his name.
Yes, Alex, but I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's directed a bunch of CSIs and
Yes,
procedural TV shows and stuff.
And he knows what he wants.
Yeah.
So I remember we were shooting in that apartment, and like he turned it into like a theater scene for me. Like it went like, I want you to start here, grab the bottle of tequila, walk over here, lead him here, set the cup down, go to the drawer, pull this out, pour the 2 shots, bring it over, sit down. Like, and you know what's funny? I was like, I when I was all finished on that day, I looked back and I'm like, I didn't have any fear. Like, I'm always scared that I'm going to get scared. Like, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, can I do that? You know? And then that's going to be like driving my thoughts. But in those moments, I was eager to do that for him. I was like, I can do that. And I was working from that space. So when he did give me that note, I was like, yeah, let's go. And and it enriched my performance with, you know, combined with his notes, and it really just brought more, because we could have totally done a scene where we were just sitting at a table the entire time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over the shoulder, master, mid, let's go. But this one was really cool. So it was nice to have that, because I think every time you get to work, you know, it's another chance to build up more confidence in your work, test out some new things, you know.
Did you end up working with any of the main guys like Titus or anything? I didn't see all your episodes.
No, I did not end up working with any of the main leads. A couple other the series guys, but no, I didn't get a chance to cross paths with Titus. I would have loved to have shook his hand though. He's great on that show.
Yeah,
he really is.
He killed it.
And it's a great series too. I love stuff like that starts off as a solid book series, because then you just have so much to you know, write about and stuff. And usually it's well established by that point. How was your experience though?
Dude, it was great.
Did you have a blast?
Yeah, dude, it was great.
It's a great crew.
Titus was the, you know, he plays such a straight...
You work with him, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Sick.
He's so dark on the show, but he was the silliest guy there.
Really?
My first day was on a Friday, and Alex was the director, who's, I don't know, he's Russian or something.
Yeah, he's got an accent on him. I remember.
And very, you know, he's all about the work.
Yeah.
And Titus was doing voices. If there's a blooper reel, and I don't know if there is, I'm sure I'm definitely on it.
Yes.
Not because of me, because of Titus. He was just the silliest guy in the room.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was a Friday, and it was a great experience. Super loose. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were all like a family.
Yeah.
There.
Did you go to wardrobe and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. The ladies in there were great.
Yeah.
I probably, you know what the coolest thing about that was? I mean, shooting it and everything was awesome, but they actually, this was unique. They needed pictures of me and my cousin at a Dodger game. So they contacted my reps, and they were like, my manager calls me. He's like, hey, do you want to go to a Dodger game? I was like, wait, you and me? And he's like, no. They need pictures of you, da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, are they paying for the ticket? And they're like, they're paying for that and for the day. And I was like, oh, shit, we're getting paid to go see the Dodgers? It's like, yeah, dude, I'll be there. And so that was cool. We spent time out there.
They put you in the bleeders or what? I'm just kidding.
No, you know what? We ended up there. We ended up taking pictures from the mid level, the top, this, that, and we ended up using one of the ones from the very top. But that was cool. I gotta. Oh man, I hope wardrobe isn't listening. I still have the jersey and the hat.
Ooh,
Nice, snitched on myself. No. Yeah, no, but that was cool. The entire team. That's so cool. We worked with the same director.
Yeah.
He was super. He was really creative. I liked working with him. He was like tough and honest, but loving at the same time.
He didn't suffer fools.
No,
he knew what he wanted.
Exactly.
But he was nice.
Yeah, he was dope.
And I just remember for Tunnel Vision, the other one I was in, it was the DP, the guy that DP'd for Pill Shills, at least for me, he became the director for the other thing.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
I think that's what they're doing over there, because who else? No. I'm crossing something. Yeah. No. I feel like they. I mean, after so many seasons, you know, it seems like they let other people at bat. I have a good buddy who's worked on iZombie for a while, and he was just a series regular for a long time. Very talented actor, Malcolm Goodwin, and him and I worked on a short a few years back. But I love watching him on Instagram to see his growth. I remember just seeing him as an actor, and then now he's like directing episodes, and to see that progression, it's really inspiring. You know, it makes you want to keep pursuing your art further and further, and exploring other departments and things like that. But yeah, it's cool that they can rotate people like that, especially they obviously know the show.
Yeah,
it's not like bringing in a director who has no idea.
I have no idea what's happening.
I'm going to inherit this, and I'm going to tell you guys how to do it today.
I was just like, whoa, I'm glad I was nice to the DP.
Yeah, hey, facts. Yeah. Hey, your DP's your friend, man.
Definitely.
Make or break you. Hey,
definitely.
I got something showing? No, they'll take good care of you.
I'm in focus. No, you're not, but don't worry about it. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's, actually, so I want to talk real quick about How to Get Away with Murder. I didn't see that episode, but I saw you work with Viola Davis.
Yes.
And I also saw that you were all tatted from like head to toe.
Yeah, man.
What was that like experience for you working with her?
Dream come true. That was really awesome. I remember the audition experience. It was over at Prospect Studios in East Hollywood. And I remember the dialogue was rich. And I just remember being like, all right, this character's got depth. He's not just like, I read a lot of gangster roles. Like they always send me the thug stuff, and I gladly go out and read them, you know. But what I try to do is to make them fun for me, because I could, you know, we can play it generic and just, you know, wave the gun around. But with these characters, like they all have their own stories to tell, and this guy did. His name was Ben Carter, and to like go through learn the dialogue and learn the backstory and create this. I spent a lot of time actually creating backstory for him, and like I would do little things like I'll go on YouTube and I'll decide like what city he's from, and then you'd be surprised. You'd be like, tour of Baltimore, and then
you
there's
can find
like
a whole city.
yeah
4K.
It's like a dude driving in a car with some music, and you're just driving around town. And then like I'll do some other stuff like that just to get an influence. But anyways, I did all that stuff, and I went to the audition, and you always get the like, good job, all right, bye, you know, so you don't know what's going on. But when I got the call, I got a little nervous. I was like, holy crap. But I hadn't had access to the script, so I wasn't sure if I'd be working with Viola. And then when I did get the script, and I'm like, oh my God, I got a lot of stuff with Viola. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, I got to prepare.
You got to be ready to go.
Yeah. I remember, I remember I remember printing out the copy of the script, and I put it in a binder, and I had like little dividers on it for my scenes. Like, I really like, I wanted to be prepared inside and out. And I was. And so the first thing they wanted me to do was go to a makeup department, special effects place.
Did they tell you were going to be tatted, or was that the script?
Yeah, well, it was described in there. I just
Okay.
didn't know the extent.
Okay.
And so they sent me down to this place. I think it's called Vincent Graphics. It's out in Burbank. It's the special, they do all the special effects stuff, prosthetics and things like that. So I go over there, and one of the main, the head of makeup was there, and he was really excited. And I guess they had an idea of what they wanted to do. So they took these molds of my arms and my face with this like plastic saran wrap, and then they used that, and they created this this piece of art, and they licensed everything, because you can't just slap anything on me.
Right.
They had to buy everything.
Right.
And they'll even ask me, do you have any on you?
Yeah,
Does
you
it
get
belong to the
permission.
artist? Yes.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then my first day on set, it was like a 4 or 5 hour sit down on the makeup chair, and I was just getting blasted with tattoos for 4 or 5 hours. And
You're like, all right, it's lunch. Nice, man. So I got a whole
here.
day left to.
Still here, guys.
Golden time.
Yeah, it took a while, but they took good care of me, and all that was on my mind is like, I'm about to work with Viola Davis, and I look amazing. Look at that. Like, dude, talk about transforming so easily and effortlessly into your character. I mean, every time I looked in the mirror, I was like, holy crap, like, this is crazy. But yeah, I remember when Viola first walked in, my first interaction with her, she walked into the makeup trailer, and I was looking straight ahead. I had 2 people working on me, and I heard her voice. That was the first thing. And I remember just hearing her voice makes you want to just like turn and see who that is. Like, whether I knew she was Viola or not, whoever has spoken, I had to look.
Interesting.
There's something about, there's a strength in her voice. And I've been curious ever since if people like develop that, over time and through experience. But there was this power in her voice. She could talk about chocolate milk, and I'd just be like, just sucked into what she's saying. There's so much passion, there's pain, there's a lot in her voice. There's a strength. And I remember looking over, and then at some point she walked over and she introduced herself, and I was like, hi. I felt terrible because they were working on me. I couldn't shake her hand. But then I got my chance to say hello properly when we got to set. And one of our first scenes was in the courtroom where I'm sitting next to her, and she's about to start representing me. That was interesting. I was like, oh man, me and Viola about to hang out all day, right? We about to have a good time. And so I showed up, I sit down, and the first thing I noticed, I'm like, oh, Viola's back is to me. This is not what I expected. But I realized, I'm like, she's here to work, and so are you. So do your thing. And I noticed after she went up a few times and did a few takes and had it, then she opened up and was a little bit more talkative with me. And then I was like, I took something from that. I was like, that's the kind of professionalism that I want to emulate, like,
Don't talk to him right away.
well, if you got a big scene, make sure you're where you got to be to deliver that. And
Right.
and then after that, you can get a little bit more casual about things. But yeah, you know how much pressure we're under to deliver. You never know. My biggest fear is like, I just out of nowhere, I'm just like, I don't remember anything. Like I have amnesia. Like
that stuff does happen sometimes.
Dude, no, don't say that.
I mean,
Hey, let's get the guy that was on hold.
there's been,
He's ready to go.
there's been moments where I just sit there and I'm like,
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. That's the scariest thing in the world.
you know,
Yeah.
just like,
yeah.
Especially
Dude.
when the director's like, "It's okay. We're just gonna try it again."
what, I gotta hold your hand now? Come on.
Line, please. Did you guys see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Not yet.
I liked
Dude,
it,
I
man.
loved it.
I like that movie
I wish
a lot.
you guys
No
had seen
spoilers.
it.
No
So good. Oh, so good.
You know what was crazy about? Okay, I'm not gonna. There's no spoilers.
Don't ruin it for the boys.
I'm not gonna ruin it for him. But what I'm gonna say is real quick. So a mutual friend of ours hated the movie.
Ooh.
James Lake.
No, but and I was like, well, why? And he kind of explained his reasons. And I'm like, well, this is what was fascinating about the movie and why Tarantino's so good. It's like the first hour and a half of the movie.
Yeah.
There's not really a story.
It's a day in the life.
It's just like nothing's really happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm still entertained as hell.
Yep.
Like I'm still like invested into it, and it's funny.
You're excited to see what's
and
next.
I'm like, what's coming up? What's coming up? And then like
Well, it's like 2.5 hours long. Right?
3.
it's like 3 hours.
3 hours and a
Yeah.
minute.
And you got to stay for the credits too.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Stay for the credits.
Stay for the credits, boys.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, I had a lot of fun. Like I was like watching it, and I'm like, damn, shit is funny.
Yeah.
I was like, it felt like Tarantino at the end.
Oh, totally.
Always at the end.
Totally.
Blood and shooting.
And
It's fun stuff.
It was cool how he tied in like real stories in Hollywood
Yeah.
into like a fictional world that you
Yes.
created. Like
I
it
love
was
that
it was
too.
cool. It was fun, man.
Leo inspired me. I'm like, man,
Dude, he was good.
Yeah,
He was good.
I was like, I want to live like just an actor life, like just hang out with my stunt guy all day. Like,
Yeah. Dude, that,
Shout out to Jared Lozano, my buddy out there. He was my stunt double in Atlanta for
Okay.
Stuber. Man, it was so weird looking at him and like, oh my god, we look like
Yeah, exactly the
twins.
same,
It
really.
was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've had a couple other stunt guys, but him, I was like, yo, I was like, dude, we look alike. Like, don't be learning my lines and shit. You might take my job.
That's probably what he was thinking. I can do the stunts too.
Hey, I could
one-stop
talk.
shop.
I could talk. Anybody?
Guys, I'll do the lines, please.
Yeah.
I'll do the lines.
Did you ever get finished watching a Jackie Chan movie and be like, I'll do this stunt?
I can do that. Yes, Rumble in the Bronx.
Dude, that's a
the
good one.
Yep.
Nice.
Dude, do you remember when he shoots through the what is it, the shopping cart? I don't know. I've always
I
that's
know.
when I think Jackie Chan, I picture him just blasting through a shopping cart where he does all this funny stuff. I think it was
Shanghai Noon and Nights is what I think. Of.
There's the one where he slides through like it's like a cashier opening.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
it's like this like
yes.
That's
Oh,
Rush
God.
Hour. That's Rush Hour.
it's a rush hour. It's like this
One of them.
big
Yeah,
or
he
something.
gets
And
through
I'm
it.
like, how do you even like?
Because you're Jackie Chan.
Oh my
Well, he hurt
god.
his finger in the bloopers. He was like, Jackie, okay, Jackie, okay.
Jackie always okay.
You know who I think would be the next like martial arts guy is guy that was in Stuber too. His name is Iko Uwai. Did you guys see him? He was the villain. He was the main villain that did all the fighting and stuff.
Okay.
He's actually like pretty badass. I believe his dad's a grandmaster at something, and he may as well. But other than being a really humble, awesome human being, his stunt work, his fighting choreography is insane. I definitely looked at some of his his previous stuff before Stuber, and I was just he's amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes like the next Jackie Chan in a way. Because I can't think of who fits that role now, like martial arts
I don't know. I was gonna say like
specialist.
the
you know?
dude from do you ever see The Raid? Did you see The Raid and Raid 2?
I don't think I caught.
It's like
the
an
Raid.
Indonesian guy, and he was in John
yes,
Wick.
Yes. Okay, I can see him.
I think he was in John Wick 3. I forget. But that dude is crazy.
He's crazy. Did you guys ever see Ip Man? The
yeah,
Ip Man films?
Iman,
That
yeah.
dude is-
Iman.
damn.
What is it?
I think he's older
They made
now,
like
though.
3 of those?
Yeah,
Or 4? I don't
they
know
were
how many.
sick. Did you guys see those?
Those are sick. Those are
When they,
Missed that
badass.
one.
when they fight on the stilts, on the sticks. How do
Yeah.
you shoot that?
Wow.
That's
Dude,
crazy.
Dude, I don't even know how.
I don't-
Did you ever see The Protector?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my
one.
god,
that
dude.
was sick.
There's like a scene at the end of that movie where like it's literally 10 minutes of him just breaking legs and arms. Like literally every guy just breaks their arm, breaks
Wait,
their
what's
legs.
it called again?
The Protector.
Yeah, it's like a
where
dark
they,
room.
They kill his elephant.
Yeah, I think I saw
He's
that.
like on a
He
bench.
fights everyone.
He sees his elephant like up there like with the bones, and he just like loses it.
Don't fuck with a man's elephant.
He's like breaking arms and legs. Like, oh my god.
Lesson
that shit
learned.
Was, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway. I just want to say real quick too, man. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but we met through Homeward LA.
That's right.
Last year, the year before.
Yeah.
Dude, you did that monologue about the 4th of July.
Yes.
Where that dude was, the actually guy was there.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was a heavy story, man.
Would you do a little now?
Oh. Go.
Just kidding.
First of all, that was the longest monologue I ever learned. I was so terrified of it when I first got the pages.
Yeah,
You
so
can
was
relate,
I.
right?
I was like,
wait, we supposed to remember this?
I was like, wait, I got a week and a half, and I was like, why didn't? I thought when you said a monologue, I'm thinking like a little paragraph.
Pages
I
and
was
pages.
Like, oh, dude.
Like all this? Yeah, that was scary. But you know, at that time, when I accepted that, when that came across me, I was like, man, I really was looking for something to challenge me.
How'd you get that, by the way? How'd you get on board?
Who reached
Did you get
out?
through Kate?
Yeah, Kate sent me a random email, and I know Kate has a relationship with my manager, so I'm not sure if maybe he kind of recommended me or something, but she contacted me, and I was gonna say no, but then I was like, you know what? This is something I need to do to prove to myself that I can do this stuff, right? This will be a great challenge.
It wasn't about the homelessness. It was about your ego.
I mean, artistically, I was like, oh man, I like this guy, Aaron.
Remember my name.
He's got a little diagram of where you're sitting
Yeah.
too. Like right next to
Scratched
me.
me off the list.
You know what, Aaron? You're done. No, that was awesome. I mean, yeah, we definitely raised a lot of money. But yeah, I was like, this is crazy. But I remember we were, it was cool to see everybody else do theirs.
Right.
And it's like, man, we're all good. And it was such a crazy experience. I had such a high afterwards. The adrenaline was running high in me.
With a crowd there, everybody was like, actually, the guy from Bosch, the Juan, performed.
Yes.
And he's in Bosch.
Yes.
With the guy I was telling you about.
And he's who I ran into on set. He was in a couple of my scenes.
Gotcha.
And I ran it. Yeah. And I was like, yo, this is crazy.
I didn't even know he was on Bosch. I'm
Same.
like, oh, all right, cool, man.
Same. He was a cool dude. We immediately, as soon as I saw him, I was like, yo, what's up? Like, it was cool. But yeah, that was an amazing experience, man. When we did it at the church the first time, it was dope.
I didn't do the second time.
You didn't come to the
wasn't
second
there.
one, right?
That's where they had the dude from the Jigsaw movies replace me.
That's right.
What's his name again?
Total different read.
Something Bell. Tobin Bell.
Tobin
Bell.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was kind of confused that day. I showed up and I'm like, I'm sorry, is Saw? What is Saw doing here?
Oh man!
And I was like, oh, Saw's performing with us, and he was cool. He was really interesting. Watching him like float around the theater before it was time to perform.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh man, like I could tell he's like looking for it, and I'm just like, yeah, this is cool. It was really interesting.
I thought that was funny because I couldn't be there the second day, and then like I saw the picture that I think Kate or somebody put up on Instagram.
Yeah, you were like,
and I'm like, oh, they got someone to replace me, and I was like, because I was like wondering who it was, and I'm like, damn. I was like,
Saw.
Upgrade. Yep. Jigsaw. Damn, it can't beat that.
I was hoping I'd be remembered, but
you know.
I think Kate was like, so we had to sub someone. I called my friend, and I'm like, your friend is Saw. This is nuts. I wasn't sure at first, but I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Saw. I heard his voice. It's like, oh fuck, gotta get out of here.
Your whole life you've been.
Yeah, dude, that was fun. How was it this last time? I know you did it.
Produced it. It was.
You produced it.
I directed it too, man. I don't know if I'll do that.
That was a lot.
And I was in it too.
You had to cast it too, right?
Yeah, it was. Dude, it was so much work, man. I don't know if I'd do it again. I think if I did it again, I'd do one or the other.
Gotcha.
Honestly, acting was way easier.
Yeah.
Like having to like cast it, find the location, people drop out,
the logistics,
replacing people. I mean,
start seeing how reliable people are.
I'm like, and I don't know how many times like I'd be like, and I remember this because I sent a mass email to everybody being like, all right, guys, this is all the info. Just let me know you got it. So there's no questions.
That's an easy
whatever.
one, right?
Just reply. Nobody replies. Like one person. And you're like, there's like 12 of you guys. Just like one person just like.
And we're supposed to be pros, right?
Exactly. And I'm like, guys, did you guys get it? Is everyone cool? Are you guys still in the show? You know what I mean? Because like, I don't want to show up and like, you're like, where are you? You know?
I'm doing all the scenes today myself. One-man show.
And then you see like when the call time is like, hey, we're meeting at 10 a.m. And then like people rolling at 11:30. What? And you're just like, how did you did you know it was a 10 a.m. call? And they're like, oh, I thought when we talked about it, it was going to be 11. I'm like, that was like a potential. I said I was sending the final one in the email.
Yet you're still here at 11:30.
You know, and I'm like,
it's frustrating. It's tough. I think that's what, honestly, look, it sucks, but at the same time, it's also good for us, people that are professionals about their shit. If you'll stand apart from that crowd as long as you just be a person of your word, show up on time.
Right.
It's really that simple. I mean,
that's the easy thing.
It's not
consistent.
hard.
Yeah, stay consistent with those basics and just watch the results unfold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds like but it's awesome. You got it done. That's all that matters.
We raised $2,000 that day, so
Dope.
it was like we had a packed house. It went well.
And after your cut, they got $200.
After my cut, the place got all the money. I mean, no, man, it was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
Where was the venue at?
It was at a brewery
Great
in
venue.
downtown LA.
Sick.
Oh yeah, you came to it. You
Looked
did not
epic.
come. Aaron didn't come.
Looked epic.
What a jerk.
No, it was cool, man, because they had beers and stuff. But the problem was that like we should have tried to cut people off, and I tried to tell them that because we had people getting up to use the bathroom constantly.
Oh, got it.
And I told them like, guys, when we start, just stop serving people. But they kept serving.
But they're like, you can do this because we want to serve alcohol.
Right. But I was like, after the show, people are gonna hang. Then let them drink all they want.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
They're like, you don't know our business model.
actually, that place went out of business, man.
It did?
Yeah, because I follow them on Instagram. It's a cool, really dope brewery. And like last I saw, they're like, this is our final farewell. And I'm like, damn, that sucks.
I should have drank more. I don't know.
I should have bought one more beer. That would have saved us.
Maybe they sold it. Who knows?
Maybe.
Sometimes they sell it.
I don't know. Anyway.
Probably not.
Are you an actor too?
Yeah.
Dope. Wait, so you guys were all in the class. Where are you guys from?
Ohio.
Cleveland area.
Cool.
Right?
Okay. Buckeyes. Go Buckeyes.
Yep, exactly.
That's actually where Dean is from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dean is a big time Buckeye fan.
Make that connection next time.
For you actors out there.
The thing I remember about that office is every single time you are not allowed, and often it's optional.
Tell me.
You're not allowed to have the sides in your hand.
He wouldn't let you.
Like the multiple times like I've been up. Sometimes, dude. One time I auditioned for this horror film and they gave us 9 pages.
Yep.
And obviously,
Believe it.
some stuff was crossed out, but 9 pages. And I got it the day before, so I was holding that scenes.
Yeah.
And there's like, and I should have expected this because every other time they've said this. Hey, just leave it at the table. No, leave it at the table. It's like, oh well, I'm not sure. Okay, I can try it. And he's like, trust me.
Yeah. It's like, no, I trust me.
And then sometimes I would paraphrase the lines, and I got through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean would like instill in me like respect the writer. The words are there for a reason, word for word, Rene. And I was like, the problem for me was like I had wrapped myself around that concept religiously, like, and I still do to a degree, but then I also like to, I think we're supposed to contribute. I worked on a short film recently called Customer Service, and I remember going to the audition to meet with the producer and the director and the writer. And I remember going into it with obviously no pressure. It's a short film. It's not, if I don't get it, I'll be all right. And I remember going in there and we had a conversation before I even read. And later on, the director told me, pulled me to the side when we were all wrapped. And he's like, I cast you because when you came to the audition, you said something and it made me think of something that I hadn't thought of about the character. So when I heard that, I knew that you were the right person for the job. And it just makes me think like what we do, what our gift and our specialty is like, it's not just spitting out these lines that are on the paper, but it's like contributing, we got to bring something. And again, it's always like finding that right balance. You don't want to overstep your boundaries, but that's what our job is, and if people really understand that hire us, they'll be like, okay, let me see. What do you got, kid? What do you got? Let's see it, and all right, I like that. Let's use it. So I think that's what definitely kind of gives you your signature in this game, to be able to contribute, which is what Kumail does. What Kumail did on Stuber was his ability to contribute things that weren't on the pages.
I love when you get that last take and they just say, hey, whatever you want.
Go for it.
We got it.
Yep.
Whatever you want to do.
This one's yours.
Yeah.
I was working on Switch That Birth years ago, and I remember we were doing a scene where I'm like yelling at someone, and the director's like, I want more, I want louder. And I'm just like, cool, I did it. And then after a couple takes, we were doing a break, and he comes up to me, he's like, what's wrong, Rene? And I was like, you know, I gotta be honest with you. I feel like I'm just shouting. I feel like I'm just yelling for no reason. And he's like, He's like, that's what they want. You know, that's what they're asking for.
He's like, do me a favor, don't think.
Just say the damn
do what you gotta
lines.
do. And then he was like, well, you know, my hands are kind of tied, but how about this? You give me 2 of mine, and I'll give you 1 of yours. And
That's cool.
I remember looking at him and being like, that's awesome. And it was a first of its kind too. So I was like, it's cool to have someone to collaborate with.
What did they end up using?
You know what? It's so hard to tell.
Really?
It's so hard to tell. Just because, damn, that shit was going fast. No, it's so hard to tell. Just because it's like, you know, you're in the moment so much.
They cut you out.
It was all reactions and her dialogue.
They're like, look, the character was called Yelling Guy. What is the problem here, man? What do you mean, why does he have to yell?
Why are you thinking so much? Oh, man, that's funny. But yeah, experiences like that, man. Like every time we do something, it's something new we can learn. But yeah, it was a good time.
Cool.
Definitely.
Anything you're working on now, we can kind of plug. What you got going on?
Stuber's
obviously in theaters now. Go watch it.
Yes.
Anything
Stuber's
else?
out now. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but I'm in.
Nice, man. If there's any other plugs you want to toss in, dude, you know, where can people find you, see your stuff?
Just that. You can find me all my social media stuff. I Twitter a little bit, but I'm mostly on Instagram. It's at Rene's World. It's with 2 D's at the end. It's
Sounds like a children's show.
Yeah, RenesWorld, because the one with 1 D was taken. Damn it. But yeah, I'm on there and Twitter, but don't tweet me because I might not tweet you back. I don't really be on Twitter. Yeah, too much beef on there.
But you'll respond to an Instagram comment?
Yes. Hit me up on Instagram. That's usually.
Let's put it to the test.
Bam.
Surviving Hollywood team.
And then make sure you guys check out Stuber in theaters now with this guy, right?
Hey, yes.
All right. Dude, thank you so much for coming by, bro. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Pleasure
Thank you.
talking to you.
Best guest yet.
I liked it.
You guys are dope. Seriously, thank you. I love being able to give something and you know, share the experiences, and hopefully someone can take something from it. So thank you guys for giving me a little platform to be able to do that.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe on YouTube and iTunes, Surviving Hollywood Podcast, and Twitter.
Surviving Holly W. Character limit, turns out. Surviving Holly W.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you guys next time.
Now presenting.
Should we hear the
alternate.
You want to hear that? You want to hear let's hear the feedback on this. What do you think?
We want your take.
Wait, what do you mean?
Somebody sent this to us.
This right here? This goes hard right here. For the podcast? Bro, I thought this was some real shit.
Fan submission.
Stop it. That's dope. I love that.